So today, you guys see what we're talking about. Not to get political, right? But we need to have a conversation about this. We're going to talk about some stuff, right? Because on the main channel, I'm usually fairly unbiased. I try and just present things factually. Everyone has a bias, obviously. So I think that's just how I'm going to preface this, is everyone has a bias. And I have my own, and whatever. I have a feeling I'm probably not really alone in this. But I'm just going to be pretty upfront. Like, I'm someone who, I don't know. I've just seen like the feck emote. That's awesome. I'm someone who's seen a lot in politics for a long time now. And yeah, Oz Media will be joining as well for this discussion. And the thing that's particularly gotten me just, I don't know, just ruffled feathers, besides the whole fact that like we literally believe people should not have like basic human rights, is the idea that a lot of these people are using extremely dangerous mindsets under the guise of it being patriotic or American, when in reality it's just domestic terrorism. And I wanted to go over tonight talking about two new representatives in the House of Representatives with the US. And we're going to start by talking about Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she's from Georgia. And then we're going to follow up talking about Lauren Boebert, who is unfortunately from the state that I live in, which is Colorado. She was not elected in my district or whatever that I live in. We'll get to talking about where she's from and all of that like in a little bit, because it stings me just extra that she's from my state, you know? Why did Georgia elect Marjorie Taylor Greene? I don't fucking know. I cannot give you an answer as to why the fuck this happened, but we're going to go through this. I found that this particular article had a lot of links and kind of talked about a lot of things that I wanted to bring up anyway, but I feel that this is really just, I feel like this is something important to talk about. I see you guys talking about the Claudia Conway situation as well. That's also a really important situation. I am not educated enough to speak on the topic yet, in my opinion, just because I have not done a lot of research or looking into it. I know from what I've seen on the TikToks and stuff that like it's not great, but I don't feel confident enough to fully like discuss that myself. And you guys also know that February 3rd, I believe, I'm going to be finally releasing the QAnon video that many of you have asked me to do on my main channel. So that's going to finally be happening with like as neutral as possible. So I'm here, Oz. Hello.
Howdy.
Oz Media is here. In case you guys didn't know, if he sounds a little bit far away, we are roommates. Like we just kind of made like, I guess our own like Midwestern, are we Midwest? Is Colorado Midwest? Our own mountain state, like very sad YouTube hype house, but it's really just us because rent is cheaper that way. And because it's so fucking isolating. We're trying to convince Wonderstruck to move out here and like join us, so we'll just be like the milk house, and that's just kind of how we're trying to do it. But yeah, so
some disagreement. Some people saying Colorado is Midwest, and then Felix the Kit Kat saying it's not.
But yeah, so if he's a little bit off, it's because I'm right in front of the microphone and he's kind of here. Come closer. This is weird. You're a little too close. And Casper's off in the corner too. If any of you guys do redeem Casper Cam, I will turn on the Casper Cam. I have the webcam that I'll just kind of pull it out from the side. I have a webcam that's like underneath my like desk somewhere. But yeah. So do you know a lot about Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Me?
Hi, Stinky. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, I believe, was sworn into office on January 3rd of this year, 3 days before the insurrection, as many of you are familiar. And she apparently just has this very, very colorful past, shall I say. And she's said and done a lot of messed up things. Some of you guys have probably seen me on Twitter, not directly saying it was her, but most certainly discussing that there was a representative in the House of Representatives in Congress, whatever, that said that the Parkland shooting and that those school shootings were hoaxes that were set up by people who are lobbying that are anti-gun. That's this person, just so that we're very clear about who this is. Thank you, Warrior Dan, for subbing with Prime as well. Just so we're very clear, tragic school shootings occurred. I don't think anyone can say anything other than they were horrific, right? I remember when they were happening, and it was this really surreal thing seeing it on the news, because I was like, this can't be real. And it was. Unfortunately, people like Marjorie Taylor Greene thought they were a hoax and went so far to go and harass some of the survivors of that shooting, those students. So we're going to get into looking at that video, looking at all of it. Truly pathetic. Oh, I'm sorry.
She's a QAnoner, right?
She's a QAnoner too. She's the first open QAnoner.
Is she also one of the 1776 pushers?
Yes, she is.
Lovely.
Yeah, this is a whole mess. Which we will be getting into. So let's try and start. I like this. I like this article because it has a lot of external links that will take us to various things that we're going to want to see. America is not very fun right now.
Someone's asking what a 17.
Yeah, you want to explain?
The minute synopsis is just that the 1776 thing comes from the Capitol riots, where they were saying this is the modern 1776, or basically liberating, America. It's just I can't even really.
Well, it's weird that being so something we talked about, which I think we can mention this new channel maybe a little more publicly on this stream.
Yeah.
So, and it does exist as a channel. So there is a new channel that myself, Oz Media, and Wonderstruck are creating. It's kind of like a podcasty video VR type format. Right now we're doing it inside Minecraft. So if you've been seeing me playing Minecraft in my Discord server, that's probably what I've been actually doing. And we're kind of doing these video podcasty things where we're just discussing topics, whatever the topic is. And so we're going to be talking about all sorts of these modern topics or whatever. It's going to be called The Milk Lounge. It has a channel right now. I don't have the link off the top of my head. I apologize for that. And the mods don't either, because we've been pretty quiet about it. But we just want to, that's going to be a channel we're going to be more open about talking about these kinds of things. And I know something that we talked about last night is the idea that you're now radical if you believe that people should just have basic human rights. The left versus the right extremism is really weird.
Well, our left in America would be considered
right,
centrist or right in most European countries.
Yeah, we're not even left. Left here is just hey, we believe you should have health care, and the right's version of extreme is literally the KKK and white supremacy, and that's really scary. The KKK is really, really, they were a terrifying group. I know I talked about them in their about MLMs on my channel, because they were an MLM at one point, but they created a lot of issues in the system. The fact that on the insurrection day, right, there was gallows set up and people running in there with the zip tie handcuffs, they were going in there to execute people,
I think what it was is the gallows were more of a symbol, as this is your warning, Mike Pence, and the actual zip ties were probably for hostages. So,
but that's terrifying that happens.
Yeah.
And yeah, and apparently it's radical to say, I just believe that maybe everyone should have health care. And something we talked about when we were recording the second episode of the Milk Lounge last night was this fallacy, I guess, that seems to happen that oh, Felix, you have you actually have the Milk Lounge link? Did I give you the link? I didn't know I gave you the Milk Lounge link. I thought I didn't really tell anybody. But the idea that they're saying, the right is kind of saying that if you raise minimum wage to $15, which is the proposed situation right now, that all the prices are going to go up. You're going to have to deal with $6 eggs and milk. But the reality is if you look at the price of things and how they've been going up for literal years, And the minimum wage has not. It stands as a direct contradiction of their very theory that these prices are going up. Yet the amount of money we pay our workers is not. And when they also use the argument that, well, now a school teacher is going to just get paid barely more than that $15 minimum burger flipper worker or whatever, that you should be mad at that too. Like, it's not like we're sitting here going, oh yeah, that's fair. We should be mad too that teachers are so grossly underpaid that $15 an hour minimum wage puts it into perspective of how little teachers are paid, because they're going to be nearly on par. If we actually looked for the real inflation, I believe if we were following inflation, the minimum wage would be over $18 an hour right now. I think.
It'd be closer to
right?
14, 15, depending
was
on which state
18.
you were looking at in the 80s. I know that when I compare it to the minimum wage in the 80s, in particular, you'll see it be more comparable to about $14 to $15 an hour.
I don't know, that's the radical left, that, oh my God, people should be able to afford living on this fucking earth.
Well, there's the left, and there's the radical left, and there's the radical left, which is what Fox News will oftentimes point at, which, it's a mess.
It is a bit of a mess. But let's talk about this specific one. This gal right here. When even Ted Cruz's top aide doesn't like you, I think it's fair to say you may have had just a couple of fucky-wuckies happen. So let's take a look here. Let's just go through this. So she's facing backlash after a CNN review of Greene's Facebook page showed that in recent years, she has liked posts calling for violence against prominent Democrats while promoting extremist conspiracy theories. In those Facebook posts, she has said that she wants Nancy Pelosi to get shot. Now, I don't personally love Nancy Pelosi. I don't think there's a lot of people who love her, right?
I would disagree. There are some people who definitely back behind Nancy Pelosi. Actually, not liking Nancy Pelosi will put you on the right side of things.
Really?
Unless, of course, you're able to follow up by saying you also don't like the right at all. Because I hate both sides.
Well, I'm for anarchy. Yeah. But,
Nancy Pelosi's a corporate politician who flip-flops on a lot of the things she says. Can't really follow through with anything.
A lot of them do.
It is, definitely.
A lot of them do. But saying that you want them shot is not appropriate. And then to become a congressperson in the House of Representatives and have to essentially work, by proxy with Nancy Pelosi, that's uncomfortable, That's really uncomfortable. Let me see if it'll actually open. Will they show the posts? Yeah, here we go. So these are apparently things that she liked, and it shows that Marjorie Taylor Greene liked a bullet to the head would be quicker, and this was in reference to Nancy Pelosi about killing her, that the deep state was working against Trump. She's very, very heavily involved in this QAnon stuff.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, the deep state is another word for the Jews, usually.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
I really don't know how deep this gets. My God. So a commenter asked Greene, now do we get to hang them, meaning H and O, referring to Obama and Hillary Clinton. These are not okay things for a government official to say. I feel like this should really be a nonpartisan thing. It shouldn't matter what side or what part of the political spectrum you're on, but you should never think that talking about offing another political leader is an okay thing to say. And justifying that, I don't really care what side you lean on or where you are. Justifying that is what's pretty terrifying, I think, right? I don't.
Well, I mean, obviously.
I don't see anything okay with that.
I mean, this is a form of actual political terrorism. So
I mean, it is. This is not. Oh my God, quirky. I'm so American and patriotic.
I don't know if you remember this, but the guy who was sending pipe bombs to congressional members, kind of had the same talking points as her. So I mean, really, all it is it's just one additional screw loose, and you're suddenly making pipe bombs and driving around the Trump is God van and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. this stuff's not okay, right? So Greene replies, by the way, to this about hanging Hillary and Obama by saying this little nugget. You want to read that one out for the class?
The stage is being set. Players are being put in place. We must be patient. This must be done perfectly, or the liberal judges will let them off.
Anyone want to, like, oh god, seeing the octopus emote broken up on the stream, that is terrifying looking.
The guys fucking killed him.
He got chopped up for some sushi. Look at that, the emoji's throwing some salt in there.
Some calamari.
Fried calamari on the stream. Uncle Ira says, as an interest...
Uncle Iro.
Iro?
God damn it.
I didn't watch the Avatar.
Yeah, I know.
An interesting aside, former VP Pence is currently homeless and crashing on friends' couches.
Oh yeah, no, Pence is a broke boy. Like, Pence has been using mommy's money for so long now.
Really?
Like, oh, yeah.
Jesus. But yeah, so she essentially is just saying to be patient, and that players are being put in place and all this stuff. Like, what? Like, what is that supposed to mean? Like, how are you supposed to interpret that other than something like just threatening and very uncomfy?
I have been trying to get Blair to watch Avatar for so long now, all right? She also hasn't seen any of the Star Wars, so I need to make her watch Jar Jar Binks. That's for damn sure. And, yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm working all the time.
Misa gonna make you watch Star Wars.
No, please. So her response, by the way, to this, she didn't deny any of this. She just said that over the years, I've had teams of people manage my pages. Many posts have been liked. Many posts have been shared. Some did not represent my views, especially the ones CNN is about to spread across the internet. The preemptive, like, about to spread thing, that's weird to me too. But it's like, oh, yeah, like, what, did you think, like, we were going to look at your good tweets? Like, of course we were going to look at the bad shit you said, and you've said a lot of bad shit.
Well, it's not just that, too, but if I had someone managing my Twitter, and they, like, posted out some, like, you know, radical stuff, like...
You'd fire them.
Not just fire them, but I'd issue a public apology, like, these aren't my views, don't associate with me. But she's like, that doesn't really represent me because I had people managing my page at the time. Then, like, disavow that, like right. Jesus.
But she doesn't, because the reality is I think I'm pretty sure that was her liking those things.
Well, obviously.
I think that was her liking that shit, and that's just a cover-up. I think that's shit.